Okay, so as we were saying, just to be here, it's not very easy to be inside here. To see a place that's thriving with Torah, full of life. To see it in such a situation. Looks like it's been deserted here. Can't show you any pictures because we're not allowed to photograph. We're not allowed to film this class. But getting back to what we're saying, it's very, very important that people came out today because to put the cards on the table, it's a very, very serious thing. That's what's happening. This transgression is a very, very serious crime. All the rabbis that signed their names, they should be taking turns. Each day, another yeshiva comes here. It's not enough just to sign something. We need sacrifice for the yeshivot. They have hundreds of students. If every single day a different yeshiva, a different learning school would come down here and they would sit outside the gates or come inside here and show that somebody cares, show the tremendous tragedy that's happening here, the tremendous desecration of God's name. This is not happening, and who's going to pay the price? We learned last week that the Jewish people are considered to be one body, and when a person gets hit on his finger, the rest of his body hurts. So who's paying the price here? Every one of us is paying the price here. So it's not enough that we sign our name. There should be people, there should be schools that are coming here every single day, and hundreds of students saying, we demand that you leave. All over the world, we see what's happening. People are coming and they're saying they're taking the big leaders that have done all kinds of calamities. Not that the new ones are any better, but the principle is true. We see within the world that the evil is trying to be uprooted. Here in Israel, you can get away with all this kind of stuff. We see that we're able to get away with all this kind of action, and no one cries out. No one cries out. So we have to understand, if no one cries out, it's just a matter of time where this will spread around to others. Because what goes around comes around, and there's no way out of that. So we first of all thank everyone that came out today and put themselves on the line. It's hard to know here what's happening. We're prepared for anything. And once again, this is an opening. As Mike said, this is an opening. It's an opening not because we're inside here, but because the people cared enough to come out and to protest against what's happening here. We talk about the name of the yeshiva here is so shocking. The name of the yeshiva is Joseph Still Lives, Od Yosef Chai. Think about that. It's really amazing. When we were tossed out of the grounds near the yeshiva, so they put us near the street, and then when they put us near the street, they put us in a pit. And as Mike said, truly so, that this is an amazing thing because the name of this place is Yosef. And once again, we see what's happening in this country is that they start with the so-called extremists. They come after people, but somebody says, I'm not extreme. What do you want from me? It's those bad guys. It's those guys over there. They're the ones that are problematic. And then they come for the rest of. This is exactly what happened in Gush Katif. People thought that it wasn't going to happen to them, but it did happen to them. And we have to understand that this is a tremendous thing. This yeshiva is called on the name of Yosef. And just like this yeshiva doesn't really belong here. This yeshiva was in the city of Shechem, in Nablus. What happened? Why is it here? It shouldn't even be here. Because the army, they ran away. 12 years, 13 years ago. They ran away during Rosh Hashanah. They ran away from the city of Shechem. And therefore, we saw that once again, Yosef, they ran away from Yosef. They left Yosef behind. They left Yosef behind. Not to speak about once a soldier. I think his name was also Yosef. Mike, what was his name? Yosef, what's his name? I remember the last conversation I had with Rav Hillel Eliyahu. Shem should avenge his blood. He asked me if I wanted to go with him on Saturday night, if I wanted to go to him, to the family, to the Druze family, to go to the family to say a few words. So I told him, this was Saturday night. Rav Hillel was murdered on Saturday, that Saturday, so it never turned out to be. Yosef Matchum, I think his name is. But anyways, he also was left to bleed to death, and he was left. Exactly what happens to Yosef. Exactly what happened to Yosef. So we have this thing here. Unfortunately, we're quiet here. Yosef is being once again sold. Yosef is once again being sold, and his brothers are not standing up for him. This is a tremendous calamity. It's very important here to understand. When I came to Israel 34 years ago, thank God, when I came to Israel, let me tell you something. It says in the Gemara, if I'm not mistaken, it was Rav Ami. Rav Ami says that when I'm in my place, when I'm in my permanent place, people respect me because of who I am. But what happens if I leave my place? Why do people respect me when I leave my place? Because of my clothes. In Judaism, clothes are called honor, kavod. When a person is modest, that's their honor. When a person is not modest, that is a lack of honor. When women go around half naked, they have no honor. They have no self-honor. They don't have any respect for themselves. Self-respect, there's no self-respect. They're running around without any clothes. But when a person has clothes, you respect the person. You don't respect the body, you respect the person. So let me tell you, so clothes are very important. When I came to Israel, the clothes, the uniform of the border police, was, to me, in my eyes, was a clothing of honor. Was clothing of honor. But look how times have changed. And when I was coming here, I can't believe this. I just looked at two words, and all of a sudden, after all these years where I'm closed, I don't get it. All of a sudden, I got it. Listen to this one. I look at the words ohev and the words Iyov. Can somebody tell me here, what's the difference? What letters are different between, if you spell the word out ohev and you spell the word out oyev, what letters are different? The Yud Hey, all of a sudden it hit me. I've been sleeping all these years. You know what happens? When you take out God's name, Yud K, when you take out the Yud K from Ohev and Oyev, when you take out God, so then you get mixed up. When you mix up the Yud and the Hey and you take it out, you get mixed up and you don't remember any longer who's your brother and who's your enemy. And this is exactly what's been happening over the years. The clothes of honor of the border patrol for many years. In the last years, these clothes, what do they remind us of? What do they remind us of? They remind us of Gush Katif. They remind us of Jewish property being destroyed, settlements, hilltops being destroyed, lives being destroyed. Do we understand there are people, there are children, and when you come to their house in the middle of the night, in the middle of the winter, or whatever season it might be, we have to understand that there's a dear price. These souls, how long will it take to correct these souls? Because they've been destroyed for life. They're in fear and panic. In my house, when they see these uniforms coming, they say, Abba, they're coming. I said, no, they're coming to take us. Think about this. Kids, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. What's going to be with them? Who's going to mend their hearts? There's no repairing that. For their lives, traumatized for these past years. That's what people remember. The destruction of hilltops, the destruction of houses, lives, the people's monetary situation, their parnasah. And it's true. And now they're continuing over here. That they've taken over a yeshiva. Now let me tell you something. Out of love, when you come to a person, Shlomo HaMelech teaches us a tremendous lesson, and we always remember this. When you come up to a person, you want to give him a lesson. You want to give him rebuke him. If you come and you say you're an idiot, listen to me, he's not going to listen to you. But if you tell him, you know what, you're a really smart guy, you're a real genius, and because you're such a smart guy, I want to tell you something. And then you let him have it. He's going to listen to you. The same thing too. If you come to somebody and you said, you know what, I hate your guts. But if you come to somebody and say, you know what, I love you. And that's why it hurts me what you're doing. So I'm saying what's happening here is similar to a kid. He's holding in his hand something that's very detrimental to his health, something that, God forbid, can injure him, firecrackers, all kinds of things that could be injured, could kill somebody. You tell them, for your sake, because you love them, get it out of your hands, drop that thing fast, or you're going to be hurt, you're going to be handicapped, you're going to be crippled. So I'm saying here, I'm turning to the people here. It's too bad. Your clothes were clothes of honor. But many, many years now, those clothes have turned. They've become, in the past years, they've used less and less of the army because they don't need to. So they use the border patrol. They use them more and more. So now they've become the perpetrators of all we see, all this destruction in Judea and Samaria. But this is the worst of all. So I'm saying that out of love, get it out. Stop this. There were 2 brave soldiers. I don't know if you saw. There were 2 brave soldiers. It's worthwhile to go on YouTube. 2 brave soldiers. They know once you do that, you're 30 days inside. And they got up and they were at where we started this class up there, and they stood. And they said their message that a soldier has to realize that there are certain times when you have to refuse orders. And this is one of them, to take over a yeshiva. When you take over a yeshiva, this is really going to affect us very, very badly. So God willing, this will be the first, okay? Can't do this every week, but we have to come back here. We're obligated to come back here. I hope that we'll come back here to come back here peacefully and take over this place with thousands and thousands of Jews, because God is not going to let this one go by. God is not going to let this by. When he sees that this is not being done to the Muslim community, but is being done to the Jewish community, and the Jews are silent, okay, this is not going to go over. We are going to suffer dearly for this. So we have to get people riled up. We have to get thousands of people to peacefully come and take this place back. I want to finish telling you that I wasn't sure that I was going to make it here today. I'll tell you why. Because I wasn't sure where to go. I was thinking of maybe canceling the class and going to Mishor Adumim. In Mishor Adumim, today at 9 o'clock, a Mrs. Nira Metuki from Yitzhar, she has another one, about a 5th or 6th. She's being interrogated at this police center. And she wrote this letter here, and it's a must for everybody. This class is in English, so maybe by my next week we'll translate it. But I'm going to say it in Hebrew anyway. Some of the paragraphs I'm going to say in Hebrew. And listen to what's happening in this country. Remember that unfortunately, people that are our brothers have been turned into criminals. People that are brothers and sisters have been turned into the enemy. What should have been done to our enemies, which is no longer being done to our enemies, is being done to women with 5 kids, mothers of 5 kids, parents. It's pretty disgusting, it's pretty sickening to think about what's going on over here. So therefore, many women were asked and kids were asked to come to this police station that we also want to be interrogated. We are all Nira Metuki. So let me just read a few lines over here. בזמן היותם בחקירה, 10 שוטרים לבושי שחורים סבבו את ביתנו, חמושים בקסדות ועלות. לפני שהילדים והשכנה ששמרה עליהם הספיקו להבין מה מתרחש, ראו את רכבם על גבי גרר משטרתי. 5 הילדים המבוהלים נשלחו במהירות אל בית השכנים. במשך 3 ימים נותרו הילדים הקטנים מנותקים מהוריהם לחלוטין, בלי יכולת להתקשר עמם. גם החברים ובני המשפחה שבאו לתמוך לא הצליחו להסביר לילדים מדוע נחטפו הוריהם בפתאומיות על ידי שוטרים, ולמה אמא לא באה להקריא להם סיפור לילה לפני השינה ולהכין להם שוקו כמו שהם אוהבים. דפיקות הזאת על דלת הבית החדירו את נירה והילדים מהמשחק, היו שקועים. שוטרים נכנסו לבית, בידם זימון לחקירה. מרגע זה התחילה סאגה שנשמעת מעולמות אחרים. בני הזוג הגיעו למשטרה, שם ישבו מול החוקרים, בלי להבין מדוע נטפלו עליהם ובמה חטאו. לאחר מספר ימים שוב קיבלו זימון, וגם הפעם ישבו הם מול חוקרי המשטרה שלא טרחו להסביר מה רוצים. עשו עליי 3 פעמים חיפוש גופני משפיל, תוך פגיעה קשה בצניעותי, כשאיני יכולה להתנגד או לעשות דבר. החוקרים והשוטרים צעקו עליי כל הזמן, דיברו בצורה משפילה. בשלב מסוים הם אימו עליי שיביאו, listen to this, פקידת סעד שתיקח לנו את הילדים. החוקרים תיארו בפניי תיאורים מזעזעים מה יקרה לילדים שלנו. החוקרים לא בחלו גם בהתעללות פיזית על מנת לגרום לנירה לדבר איתם. בשני ימי המעצר לא קיבלתי אוכל עד שעות הצהריים. בלילה כשישבתי בתא המעצר ביקשתי כוס מים. אחרי החקירה ממושכת סירבו לתת לי. במהלך הלילה גם נזקקתי לחובש וביקשתי שישלחו לי מישהו, אך גם לבקשה בסיסית הזו גם הם סירבו. אפילו לצאת לשירותים לא יכולתי, בטענה שאין שוטרת שתיקח אותך. אותך. בזמן ההמתנה שמו אותי בתוך תא חשוך לגמרי. מנו עורך דין. Folks, me first, but we all have to wake up because they're beginning to feel that they could get away with starting with the so-called, God forbid, so-called extremists. And they see that they are able to get away. To listen to such things, and there's not thousands of people shouting and yelling for their release, tearing down the walls. What's going to be? The selling of Yosef. So Nira Metukit, she's also Yosef. This yeshiva is Yosef. This settlement is the settlement of Yosef. We are so close. It's unbelievable when you think about it. We are so close, the closest to the city of Nablus, city of Shechem. And we're being sold. And people are being quiet. And we have to wake up ourselves. We have to wake up others. Anybody that's interested in to help, give us a call. It's okay to give a number. 02-9973-078. That's 02-9973-078. Give us a call, see what we could do. Let's wake up. All of us will wake up, and all of us must protest this abomination, this tremendous desecration of God's name that's going on.